How's it going, guys? I thought while I'm here, I'm going to take a stab at doing a kind of a weblog video diary thing, because it seems kind of faster and more expedient than writing, and I don't like writing and people don't like reading, so we'll try this. I'm here in Lesotho. It's a small country in Africa. It's completely surrounded by the country of South Africa. It's on a kind of a mountaintop plateau, a little bit like the Tibetan plateau or something like that, so the altitude is pretty high. I'm not sure exactly how high it is, but it's fucking me. I am exhausted and I'm not too bad at jet lag and travel and stuff like that, but this is killing me. I'll adjust in a while. I've been here before, it just takes a small bit. So working with a development charity called Action Lesotho over here, and it's big on kind of sustainable development stuff. So for example, one of my briefs is to come over and do product photography. So the organization has helped a bunch of different craft businesses. It's started up some of them, it's helped other ones grow. They're making handmade traditional crafts, so we need to sell them online, get a price list together. Now, I've done a fair bit of this before. It's dead easy for me to come over here with my nice big camera rig, you know, which can make anything look good, even maybe me. Haven't watched this video yet, but it's dead easy for me to come over, shoot the product photos, and then feck off back home. But that's not sustainable. It's not kind of in keeping with the principles of the NGO. So instead of just taking the photos, what I'm trying to do is put in place systems that allow, you know, them to keep taking the photos once I'm gone. So instead of just snapping a few shots, what I'm doing is, for example, the day I got here, I spent 5 hours building a light box. Now all it was is like a cardboard box. You cut a few squares out the sides, you put a white light permeable fabric. Dogs are kicking off. You put a white light permeable fabric over the holes, a couple of lamps shining in to diffuse the light, and then like a white bit of poster board or something at the back to give it a plain backdrop, okay? And that's about the size of it. Dead simple, dead easy. It'd be an hour's work back home. It was 5 or 6 hours here. Resources are so limited, transport is so tough. Went to one shop, you know, we got a few bits and pieces, but even the hardware shop here didn't have any duct tape. So like, this is the kind of stuff you're dealing with all the time. But we got it done. The light box is working really well for the small product photos, but again, it's not about me taking them, it's about setting up the system. So what I did was, once I'd tested it and made sure it worked, I established a photography protocol for photographing small products. I wrote it down, and I've started to teach people the settings. So after I leave, they'll be able to rock up, set up the camera exactly as I've described, set up the light box as I've described, and they'll be able to keep taking kind of hopefully professional looking photos of the products. So that's my gig, and actually all the briefs I have over here are kind of, you know, to that end. So hopefully you can kind of leave something behind that keeps going after you're gone. I was here 6 years ago, and I picked up a Basotho name while I was here. So I was over with an Irish girl called Maria Didi, and we both got Basotho names from the, at that time, managing director, the guy who did everything on the ground, Basotho guy called Ndate Mankwe. So he gave me and Maria Basotho names. So Maria became Ayusi Lerato Mankwe. Ayusi means sister because she's not married. Mankwe is Ndate Mankwe's surname because he named us. And she was Lerato, which means like, I think it means love or beauty, you know. So every time she got introduced to all the Basotho people, he'd be like, this is Ayusi Lerato Mankwe. And everyone would be like, that's a beautiful name. Oh my God, that's so nice. And what about the other fuckwit? What's he called, you know? And Ndate Mankwe would bring me up. And Ndate Mankwe, in his infinite wisdom, decided to give me the biggest, strongest name he could think of. So, like, I'm in Africa. I am like a foot shorter and like 15 pounds of muscle lighter than every other man here. So Ndate Mankwe thought it'd be really funny to call me Abuti Dao Mankwe, which means brother lion, which is a big name for a little guy. And even now, 6 years later, whenever I get introduced to people, they just crack up. So look, I'm spreading the joy. That's the important thing. What else? Yeah, so it's been like super hot, like 35, 40 degrees. Up until today. Actually, it started raining as soon as I touched down, and it continued until we basically started, well, we were driving back from the next town and got caught in like a massive Lesotho thunderstorm, which is like some hectic shit. The horizons in Africa look massive. I don't know what it is about the country, but like the horizon looks 3 times as big as it does in any other country I've been to. You get an amazing sense of the scale of the land and the distance between points you can see so far. So we were just driving across this plain in like driving, pounding monsoon rain, and just lightning seconds apart, you know, all around us for like an hour. So it's fairly dramatic. I told my sister about this, and she reckons it's the world's response to Donald Trump being elected president, which I think seems reasonable. So yeah, they've had a drought for a couple of months, and I arrive and it starts pissing rain, which is actually something that happens pretty often. I tried to escape the Irish weather last year by going down to tropical South China, and as soon as I arrived, yeah, it started pissing rain and snowing, actually. They'd never seen snow before. A couple of people died. We're not really ready for that. So basically I think, yeah, and then when I went back to Ireland, we got like 130 days of consecutive rain in South Kerry, or North Kerry. So my current theory is that I'm a rain god. So I might be in the wrong business. I might just need to travel to like drought-stricken regions and just be, you know, just be my usual miserable self. Get rained on. See if we can do some good that way. Alright, so that's all I have to say. It's actually more than I had to say, which is why I talk so much shit. But anyone who knows me knows that that's kind of my jam. And I'm going to keep making these. You don't need to keep watching them, but I'm going to try to choke out a few more while I'm here. Alright, okay. Take care, guys.